ahode onu abusua binya de anya sem kuma kra best point service loans best assurance you2 enchine neat fufuo neat abenkwan bebi ba ko e de prekase agum ba ko so ye de ye kwansusu na ye de awo no na ya so ne so kama de gu konkomu and a special ice insuo special drink special energy drink obinya na eboa ema mede kasebwe abram na de bedi mu akotene bi and it's mampani aye COVID-19 ano hyeto na de man nema hodo bia no wayi di afiro na bedi nkomo ahwe schools sorry say na mampani eka no wo musi ehunu efa anu yasamba ko sanso ana ndisi fo kyeresa na wotwe bia no wo mu ne sadwofo bedi nkomo ne Ghana fo akasa na dika no ene no mo hya asenti no ye be koma so yakotie nsam potia wo mo eka na fie kwa no nsemu awiro ho sam esi wo America mamu ene say onipa deseni da ho ana posini so ye bibini nti posini de nan esi de konso a seman kono ama branti ye wuo na sadia video di tinti no ye kire da bubu hyewa wo America fo mu a mo ye kire no enya se mukuma kora weni nsam do bebre na me de bremu se kasebo midin e de Agya Kwabena afi kasebo no emu ensam niye yama panic excellence na nado dan kwakufu ado e de hyehye bi e by enra na bro ne ye kasa na se mo kan ye nyina ne se anohwete ahodo de to ne ma hodo so no wo hwe kwan so betumi ni nyina de afiri wo be ni kakra kakra se na be betumi aboa ama nyama ba ko bienu miensa bi a na ma ye ho kire kakra na obetumi agugu mu de to so du a ye mampani ene ye kasa ye eno no na mampani eche so hwe ni pa nya yare bi a ye COVID-19 ya wo mo ekwa anim na so no kamia se wo mutana mu bia se na be ya wo mo a wo ho beto ontentem no atumi atom ntem na mampani san kire mu ase nipa duasansia na afomu ahwere mo nkwa na nipa empimu mienu ahankron aduanan enso 2947 na wo mo ato mo na nipa sisi omonya bi no eye empimu enwotwe ene edioson 8070.
We've conducted 218,425 tests. The number of positive cases stands at 8,070. 2,947 persons have recovered. 36 have sadly died. 13 persons are severely ill, with 3 critically ill, for which 1 is on a ventilator. And 5,087 are responding to treatment at home, isolation centers, and hospitals. Our hospitalization and death rates have been persistently very low, some of the lowest in Africa and in the world. The Ghanaian people are not dying of the virus in the hundreds and thousands that were earlier anticipated and that are being seen on a daily basis in some other countries. Indeed, we are witnessing a much milder manifestation of the virus in the country than was initially feared. And I dare say that it is the grace of God and the measures taken by government that have produced this result. Our ability to trace, test, and treat persons with the virus has improved considerably. We now have a large army of efficient contact tracers. We've expanded the number of testing facilities from 2 to 10 across the country, and we've increased appreciably the number of quarantine, isolation, and treatment centers. We've lessened our dependence on foreign imports and scaled up significantly domestic production and distribution of personal protective equipment to our healthcare workers.
eno achi mampani side to dwa echire mu se na be na ma humasho betumi akona ni munti no nkwada wo junior high school 3 and afi senior high school 3 and wo ma go track for the university for a ebe twom final exams no busumi ye mo nyina be ko school akobọ abọ mo ho eda twom so hwe.
From Monday 15th June, the decision has been taken after engagement with the teacher unions, whose cooperation I salute, to reopen schools and universities to allow for final year, junior high, senior high, and university students to resume classes ahead of the conduct of their respective exit examinations. Indeed, final year university students are to report to their universities on 15th June. Final year senior high school SHS3 students, together with SHS2 Go Track students, on 22nd June. And final year junior high school JHS3 students on 29th June. JHS3 classes will comprise a maximum of 30 students. SHS classes a maximum of 25 students, and university lectures would take place with half the class sizes. All final year students of educational and training institutions, which are being managed by ministries other than the Education Ministry, are to return to school on 15th June to complete their exit examinations. Again, prior to the opening of schools and universities, the Ministry of Education and the heads of public and private educational institutions will fumigate and disinfect their institutions. Each student, teacher, and non-teaching staff will be provided with reusable face masks by the Ministry of Education. With the avoidance of doubt, all other educational facilities, private and public, for non-final year students will remain closed. The Minister for Education in the coming days will outline in detail the specific guidelines for the safe reopening of our schools and universities.
Mampani sare to jechire mu se omohwe kwan se amanfo betumi akwa asore na mu na asore nipa emro oha ewo asonda banku mu wo bra wo de dohwere bako ena beso.
Fellow Ghanaians, with effect from Friday, 5th June, we will begin stage 1 of the process of easing restrictions. An abridged format for religious services can commence. 25% attendance with a maximum number of 100 congregants can worship at a time in church or at the mosque with a mandatory 1 meter rule of social distancing between congregants. In addition to the mandatory wearing of masks for all persons at all times in churches and mosques, a register of names and contact details of all worshippers and hand-washing facilities and sanitizers must be provided with a maximum duration of 1 hour for each service. Religious institutions that are desirous of opening their premises to their members, such as churches, mosques, and others, must disinfect, fumigate, and put in place the requisite logistics needed to guarantee safe opening and operationing. They must work with the designated regulatory bodies and undertake test runs of the protocols I have outlined. I would appeal to them, in the case of Christians, on the first Sunday of reopening, i.e. 7th June, in the case of the Adventists, Saturday, 6th June, and in the case of Muslims, on the first Friday, i.e. Salat al-Jum'ah, on 5th June, to dedicate their worship to prayers for the nation in these challenging times.
Yankwa amano ne ne kin Ali Awudo edwom tinani ade ema coalition of concerned teachers in common for schools mampeni se nhihye mu no wa bia no se na be ya final year students ne ebetumi akọ kin wote benka yemo aha aba UTV so
me dati bebre
eno amuti ne mampeni kan na church for my krado se mo be ye ne mampeni kan na se ma hobo etesen ewo san hihye ya bayi
yo me dati idi kan mi chia UTV tifo nyina ne aticha for mo Ghana nyina eno kre asema mampeni edebetu dwa enra se school kwala omowo junior high school form 3 and senior high school form 3 no 22nd and 25th of this month June no omonko school no eyade aye coalition of concerned teachers yefuaso me ntia yefuaso ne say ye ni Ghana Education Service Ministry of Education and the presidency itself. Edi kan edi hun komo ma yendi hun komo keke ye kan di to dwa say form 2 form 2 senior high school KHD omunko school until further notice na form 3 for ne di omunko wie omunko tro mo exam say PEC ne SSC na emumu no before na omobeko no ye fa nyoma bi entudwa ye fa nyoma bi entu na kwemu ebini say you be fumigate all the classrooms. You be provide the Veronica bucket with soaps. Now, Colano ni a church for the Minano, to me, our Romonta. A bind be providing nose marks, the washable ones, the amount chair for any school for the Minano. If I could be a Benjamin, son. Into a free near equity 22nd to 25th. No, you should mean to Ghana Education Service. A bit to me, I yes, I knew my way in a Sunny Bayan Colano, Ebeco School. After some Colano school, so class size, no. Say 100 or more class, you better so at the above between 25 to 30. As I said, Form 1 and Form 2 following one, there will be enough classrooms need to meet SPC in Colano. Then a bayer, or mobile senior, yes, no more coach, mobile EC, no more SSC, name free or H. Nay, again, home, I shall quite a first swar in Colane away, Genus, almost with me school.
Young friend, sir, said, okay, such a Colani, a bayer, aha mobeba mo chiba manaba ba aduonu num na say aduasa no yan hwa de bi e wo ha teacher ni ba ko na kire mass teacher waba nkwada 100 waba kire 25 contact hours any that tete sa no mo ba ne den nkwada 100 na ese che mu 4 anti contact hours mo te so anasa mo yenden
me da si bebre senior president sika ye no Ghana Education Service edi mun papa mu ni nyina ebeba. So we senior high school bia subject bia ni ho a teacher ni ba ko penetrate subject bia ni ho a teacher ni ba ko penetrate subject bia no a teacher for no mo che no mo doso so we junior high school so a the same thing enye primary school ni aka say class teacher enu ntino say ye teacher classrooms no mu a wo by all means ni benya chekirefo a omo be kire nkwala na de in the other classrooms ema na yi ye propose krapo say in the urban centers na class sizes no very large no say interim no ye be shift system say ye be ya nkwala ni nyina benya kwan akọ school kra na ye be employ that methodology no in the interim say ye be ya omo kwa ko spend a maximum of about 6 to 7 weeks per no more free school more. They are going to prepare to write their PECE and SSE. So almost here between 22nd and 25th now. Achano by August 2nd week in September no maybe your baby no omakofi.
Mambe bisa we say ebra na yede go track and green track, brown track, and indigo track by ye. Na teacher for be complaining say woman ebre san say woman nipa ba ko be chire we. And what difference be na bebam?
Difference bebam ni say we no nkwala no a omo form 1 any form 2 no. Enya ade a omo be school. Ena enya ade so a different class levels. Omunyina no omo form 3 ena ya chiche omumu in various classrooms ena achechire fokuru ya chire omo ade na se wo fa gold track any green track na no 10 bia no nkola ni bi wo school we makwan na okotena fia na we aba we makwan na okotena fia na we aba inti sa system no the problem be mo ya kan wasem kakra ni say teacher ni no me funny say green track adie na say green track na makwan ko na yenya chechire ni a oba be kire gold track na keso no abe san to aso in that case no chechire ni no onya vacation period but that's notwithstanding no Ghana Education Service through the Ministry of Education no employ almost 9,000 teachers for the double track system last year honum. In this teachers na employ no on be fill up the man power strength of the Ghana Education Service as a church for no or more. Into this particular system here, say you tete nkolenu edugu the various classroom no more. You benya a church for match or maje. Now one of your recommendation I demand the Ministry of Education to the Presidency, he said, as in the interim, no, then in the long run, we need to employ more teachers so as well. So the portals will be obeyed. I been a church for almost Phyllis portals.
And then I shall say Education Ministry by Crown Sana Marco, essence a church for Muhia Yapa.
Medasipa. Ebi kind of so mu fumigated schools in I was saying we provide the nose marks, for both teachers and the learners. I was saying we making sure say classes you said the social distancing protocols will be observed. I was also making sure say schools more boarding systems you better decongest the boarding system then you better in Kwalano or more overcrowded in the boarding schools and all that. Sanima we nyina no nioma I was say Ghana Education Service edikanye. Na nioma miensa ehu hia pa ni say one ombe fumigated schools ni nyina two ombe provide the hand sanitizers and the nose masks for both in the hand sanitizers in the schools and then the nose masks for both teachers and the learners. And then finally ombe making sure say the various social distancing protocols per class size of about 25 to 30 to the president can ebe ye juma so na cheche for akwa classroom akwa charge.
Enti my crado.
Dai crado.
Da se bebre. Ora kinali awudu aye jamtenani adema coalition of concerned teachers ono na ni di nkomo edefa sukuwa mampani kyerese womo a eba bewie no enkono na asemi afi na mampani abanti sha awudu a Ministry of Education GS de betu dwabia no yeba ma yahwefo ahwedi nyina yeda so a wo ensem ne yenkona ye ne University of Ghana ye Professor Ransford Jampo or ye senior political science lecturer wo University of Ghana Legon o da to dwa kyeremu se electoral commission ma na ho kwan ema aban mu fo emeka sanfa mo isanse se ko ba se bia dwumadi ahodo electoral commission bi du no party e wa aban mu na ebekasa e de ama o mo se o electoral commission dwuma no be ni se ya ebe mo bi anya adwiri bi se e bia yisi no ene aban no na e adwuma bomti no aban nim da yisi ni ye nyina ne sa no ebe ma gidi a manfo o yisi mu no akofam odi nsemu etudwa wo bra na o kasa o critical issue a ye no memenda no pa bia efia pokua edimu akotene no
electoral commission for se eba se ruling party for e kasa amom a omombra abonte mbeka se mo kasa yansumamo okay na munya se to de bia aso mo kasa mo ntumi nkasa amom na ruling party create nsem na sesen omo ankasa na face omo kama
na dia na e
kasa mamu a mombra electoral commission for mbra abonte mbeka se we are an independent commission. We have what it takes to defend ourselves. Enti no sane be ya emma opposition for so feel said that my money we are embedded no shut up na munya ye na yankasa nya adwuma what you say as ye come on no my din ye can against your media no ma be say we have the mandate emwa
if you are my last one
Yakwa Manosoni and Professor Reverend Frimpon, no man so Jumtinani, Edema Pentecostal and Charismatic Council, our Maganamu, any comma farm far, and sorry, man penny chessy no, on which Makona Nipa Baconabe, Nipa Makumako or her, Womo Morosa, Dr. Baconson, so Mode Essum, Papa Toti and Car, Yamahaba, UTV so.
You make sure UTV, a chief Unani, some penny, no palm or your mark of money.
Yes, sir, that's what bra wo dey afam ye na awie. Ye bisa say man pani sem o kan ye ene hyehye horo dey atudwa no. Mu hu ni san eye ebeboa mo.
The good say eye pa, I say one farm our bra yin wo hwa ba ebosumi ni na ofre yen ka say yen se o adwene bi fa asori bi ho a yen famra. Se ba so bi a tie de niam agu asoko eno na ekodi media fo ntema o manya ho abotra o mo se ye pressure president mentisa intimiya mati true mensa ani nyina ni gina se ye bo Ghana ko ho bai ye bo ye nia kasa ho ban ya ba so le ma ho bai In Tinia, you see no face mask, no entry. And I be a galapra and maybe be a face mask. She has saw any face mask and a cop. You are also a social distancing. I don't know, the car said be a 100, and I said, I saw no shah on the cost several services. In Tiana, so the bell was in saw them 1 meter apart, said they being cocoa. And I say, enhanced hygiene test, enhanced personal hygiene. And the whole with running water and so be a bit of any bucket. The basic sanitizers, or more basic speakers, and the yes, the speakers, microphone, and on corner issue, toilet, so need the sanitizer, as I need to be also in the class, so you're fully guilty. If you do everything possible, and you have a proper beer, and then you can hold that. Says, you don't do it again, almost there's a sorry between you. As you see, true almost say, we are mature, we have good leaders, we are well organized into your day. If you're present, the kind of year, you're in the garden, and I'm a slash of a slash solid man, you are in discipline for the sake of our brother's keeper. You are more. Come. We say that you're
Nippon ha don hwere baako Nippon ha don hwere baako wugidi se ebema asofo no mo betu asan se yemfa se wa sori awo no congregation no ayi nipa beye apemu a na se ebeye don hwere du
services
na mo beye and ha na wo mre
oh sa kaneno ko tuduma be 1 hour wa bom python tin ti krem e be do preaching so na it's a 1 hour. It will 15 minutes. Announcement, you preach here 20 minutes. Unquay deliverance and coquetka, unquay ma bebre, omokoy enough for rubber. Just school church, you look here long time. If you find 20 minutes per church, 20 minutes per section, to 20 times, I say, there 200 minutes, which is almost 2-3 hours, but breaks the brew, you get 2. I guess I was so in Solomon Dickens, no elders, no Solomon. It is so in ready. And to preach them in Sa, no also preach them in Sa. Metaka said, we are not in the normal time. So we be a ma and Kawima. The two news mass in the car, sorry. In car, sorry, 1 hour. You social distances. Now, I really are coba and no dream. Now, Toka say, and car, sorry, will be anything because already to me a month. That's what I'm out. A planning, you Ghana have a problem, a planning. I want to be or say a blue you at the back. And you preach 5, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, my credit, still a year say, young pass or the cry, into a set, you're bombarding. But already there's an argument about 25% and 100. Yeah, it is clarification because 25%, if you are sorry, down 25% in your quarter pay. You probably be a trying to say some of God in Cassie, Paris Zone, PRWC, Wesley Methodist, Craig Dark Feet. If you also show shop, if you be a guy in summer, 25%, about still social distancing in the back, which we are trying to seek clarification. Nevertheless, so am I 100 crap with the Yamiasi. It's a new talk, a new born, let's say, so and the first ebi da wo numu a na wo pon ebene so ye da na se ye ne ntwetwe ye waka bia me de me se asofo no ye ni so na se ye nye policy of monitoring and ye monitor system no so bia wa ni so da kwa ye nye de basa be ba na sa so le cruise ye ma sofo so ko safety the rigors of the law so that na e take and control na me de me de mo say I saw you the discipline, they will be shocked because the church is the most disciplined organization in Ghana. We are well groomed and disciplined. That's why I'm sorry about one media and Ghana over 200 years and discipline. You will do it. So people are more clear you will shut your mouth.
Okay.
Because we the leaders are prepared to say the better.
Papa, when they meet one, Wadan Roma, Woka discipline, Asimia Majum Kakra. I'm cran sorry, Matima sorry, 1 man church if we. What is some young Mupebia, a one regulation back on the same?
your choir be fast with for you processes in so. And you say, or Munano, I sorry, be and all the other sorry. Sorry, be a Jesus, sorry. This is the silly suffering. Now, some are go up into the so. This is not the time one man said, we are sorry, the big idea. And room I am calling you. It is the time we should rather draw together. Since we are in Oka, all church leaders. This is now one platform, so I sorry, bomb pie. So, quite a one, we are doing the best we could to organize all ourselves so that we work together. A kingdom that against itself shall not stand. I hear the Kuchiano from the agency, and yes, I bring you because the way of one man church and another way of personal church. This is really massive. As some are walking to me, so sorry, be a teacher, sorry. If you did see a book, maybe now boom, I see or
Papa Samaja Kwama Wakono, a message, Modibama Asaramano. One, I say, be infant is 1,000, and I say 1,000 members are, you be chimutain. Ebia first service no Holy Ghost and my papa, or my boy, my papa. Second, a service no, and a Holy Ghost with papa. I want a message in answer, sir.
What is American? Holy Ghost, baby, but what baby and the says here, Biano. No, first 2-3 services, me are saying you went in Ghana. A brand of years of food, Kuma 54, and a master 2 services. Kuma and Krahan shall be brave. Ain't the Holy Ghost here? The PRO, look at the ledger, baby, I'm all very around the Kata. Still small points, and fast to Kata. And yet a breaking thing, bail upon 4, or more pile, oh, bail, answer as for 1 hour. And so, the BNC, you let it umpire 1 minute. And as you conclude the fee, and yet, Holy Ghost will be real or kind of say, see, I can't online service or kind of Bishop Agya online service and Mauricio will preach here on the sacrament. Into Holy Ghost will be on
Papa, what dear, Yambrana Yaso down so one for Bakuchaman Sana Yako. Said the Candipadoma war and Sora Hoodroom, said the Midday in Sonny as a Fuenimono. Say, Yamfan say, a don't shoot doer. It be a don't shoot about Kobe baby, and I found that congregation so beba, group of beba. Until at the end of the dinner, you spent 12 hours, the whole day, the morning in Papa, a bayamresa.
A dear harm, a young child, so we have services. The Kwabena India, New Life, sorry, what's tonight? The call her, no, we have 10 services. Then a young video, a idea AC. Is when it comes, God will give us the grace and the wisdom to organize it. Oh, and you may do how you do your other. In June, you know. You have to cry, I'm sorry, you always could go up. We will make it. I don't, this faith, the kind of for pessimist sees difficulties in opportunities, but optimist sees opportunities in difficulties. Just almost the baby will be the honor. With dear and now almost the air drink will more the power mono. The dear, you know, many are no because optimist. I never see difficulties, I see opportunities. It's where I can know and first will be a back. Set a sorrow no. The business innovation, laying a business as usual. We are in a paradigm shift and we will make it.
Papa, what do you as some common and also bend, and Yamisumutino. Yes, I miss about could be on Sana Majakwamako. Oh, yeah, conference, and so dear Patch of Fachemi. Miss Sassa, yes, say, is a share, I would on war, Oba Ronsa, Obey Woody, obey your way. Sam bringing in answer. A bedgy bre, and I didn't saw Doctor Bacopet. Every fun say, baby, I say a crano. Biana, don't sure about when I see a preacher, dear, said the Indiano. Now, swats have a shim, I don't swear.
And your problem, because a plane, flight tab, I have 5 hours to London. Walk airport, walk check with our family grace, Diana and come. We do plane, who could do London. Time I'll be you near my coffee and come. In the case of the river, external protocols now, they and come. You a couple of years, that's a okay, I'm here 1 hour 40 minutes. Uber calling Mama, the Talatican, and come lemon, or say you pet and a watch in the air ticket. In the way you are 1 woman, and try if I saw a telegram of the press. Will be how the 30 minutes they prepare. Now, sorry, I want. I'll do the 200. 200 1 hour prepare no I sorry 1 hour you know tell I will start to about opening prayer I worship ama benediction no and 1 hour the name I will behind the scenes and the camera will face you to the crowd the casa between the trouble 30 minutes and so you have me copy because YouTube kokasa you moment the first studio and a safi
and yes first service for no somebody can ba checking in and bantem na second service for the third service for so be checking in so mo so no and hono so and take some time and sana o matumi aba nti na down the day no
can be there should be a break because they don't have to clean them up for they don't sanitize the clean like come and say the plane call run by a do airport and then go for them you come and for about if you know the hours no you never say we are sorry 1 hour there can be a period of 30 minutes to 1 hour interval to reset the stage and then continue another service.
Papa we dey enkomo na dey now so dey kwato adwuma so e be san ba onchen bio ni wa be dey enkomo. Then said that Bebre Professor Reverend Frimpon Manso Ejomtenani Edema Pentecostal and Charismatic Council one ni di enkomo e bo modern say nsa betumi aka ye na no Muslimin panifo so e bi so sanye bia man pani hihye ode abai wo mu so wo mu ehu ne sen na fi yato enkomo twetwe no so me kan mo say YouTube pram to breka se ebo e na mo hwe di kan kora e June busumi no mu e na me de ebremu ye to aso a wo mo edua kokoo e me kire kube